Dumping trash in volcanoes might seem like an innovative way to get rid of waste, but this idea is fraught with challenges, dangers, and environmental consequences. The notion of using active volcanoes as gigantic incinerators for our garbage is intriguing at first glance, as the high temperatures inside a volcano can reach up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit 1,093 degrees Celsius. These extreme conditions could, in theory, incinerate almost anything. However, the practicalities and ramifications of such a plan reveal that it is far from a viable solution. First and foremost, the logistics of transporting trash to volcanoes are incredibly complex and expensive. Volcanoes are often located in remote areas, far from population centers where most waste is generated. The cost and environmental impact of transporting large volumes of garbage to these distant locations would be substantial. Vehicles and equipment necessary to haul and dump the trash would emit significant amounts of greenhouse gases, exacerbating the very environmental issues the idea might be attempting to solve. Additionally, most active volcanoes are found in places with rough, treacherous terrain, making access even more difficult and hazardous. Another major concern is the unpredictable nature of volcanoes. Active volcanoes can erupt with little warning, releasing ash, gas, and lava. These eruptions can be catastrophic, destroying nearby areas and endangering human life. If we were to regularly dump trash into volcanoes, there would be a constant risk that an unexpected eruption could occur during the dumping process, potentially harming workers in nearby communities. Moreover, volcanic eruptions can have widespread environmental effects, including the release of toxic gases like sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere, which can lead to acid rain and contribute to climate change. Even if we could safely and efficiently transport and dump trash into volcanoes, the environmental impact of doing so would be severe. When garbage burns, it releases a wide range of pollutants, including carbon dioxide, methane, dioxins, and other harmful chemicals. While the high temperatures inside a volcano might destroy some of these pollutants, others could be released into the atmosphere. The interaction between burning trash and the chemicals and gases naturally present in volcanoes could produce dangerous compounds that might exacerbate air pollution and global warming. Moreover, dumping trash in volcanoes could potentially disrupt the delicate ecosystems that exist around and within them. Volcanoes, particularly those in tropical regions, often support unique habitats with species that have adapted to the harsh conditions. Introducing large amounts of foreign material into these environments could have unpredictable effects on local wildlife, potentially leading to the extinction of species that are already vulnerable due to the harsh living conditions.
Additionally, the ash and gases released by the burning trash could spread over large areas, affecting not just the immediate vicinity of the volcano, but also distant regions downwind. The social and cultural implications of dumping trash in volcanoes should not be overlooked either. Many volcanoes are located in regions with indigenous populations that hold these natural features as sacred or culturally significant. The practice of using volcanoes as trash disposals could be seen as a profound disrespect to these communities and their traditions. Such actions could lead to social unrest, conflicts, and legal challenges, further complicating the implementation of this idea. From a technological standpoint, the infrastructure required to safely manage the dumping of trash in volcanoes would be enormous. It would require the development of new technologies and methods to transport, handle, and monitor the waste, as well as to predict and manage the risks associated with volcanic activity. The costs of developing and maintaining such infrastructure would likely outweigh any potential benefits, making it an economically unfeasible option. Additionally, the idea of using volcanoes as waste disposal sites reflects a broader issue with how society views waste management. Rather than finding ways to reduce, reuse, and recycle waste, this approach suggests that we can simply throw away our problems by incinerating them in volcanoes. This mentality is not sustainable and ignores the root causes of waste production, which lie in overconsumption, poor product design, and inadequate recycling systems. Instead of looking for quick fixes, we should be focusing on more sustainable and responsible ways to manage our waste, such as improving recycling programs, promoting the circular economy, and reducing our overall consumption. Another aspect to consider is the potential for unintended environmental disasters. The interaction of waste materials with molten lava or volcanic gases could create dangerous byproducts that might not be fully understood or predictable. For instance, burning certain types of plastics or electronics could release toxic gases like dioxins or heavy metals, which could then be carried by the wind to nearby populations or agricultural areas, contaminating food supplies and water sources. Furthermore, the idea does not address the root issue of waste production. Modern society generates a vast amount of waste, much of which is non-biodegradable and toxic. Instead of finding ways to effectively reduce or manage this waste, the concept of dumping it into volcanoes simply relocates the problem and adds new risks. This approach could encourage continued wastefulness, as people might assume that there is an easy and unlimited way to dispose of trash. In reality, the focus should be on reducing waste at the source through better manufacturing practices, more efficient use of resources, and improved recycling and composting efforts. From an environmental ethics perspective, the concept of using natural phenomena like volcanoes as garbage disposals raises significant concerns. The environment is not simply a tool for human use, but a complex system with its own intrinsic value. Using a natural and often sacred feature of the earth as a dumping ground for human waste is a violation of environmental stewardship principles and shows a lack of respect for the natural world. It also ignores the interconnectedness of ecosystems, where disrupting one part of the system can have cascading effects on the entire planet. Moreover, the idea of dumping trash in volcanoes would likely face significant opposition from environmental groups, scientists, and the public. The potential risks and consequences are too great to ignore, and the ethical implications are troubling. Public backlash could lead to protests, legal battles, and international condemnation, especially if such a practice were implemented in or near protected areas or regions of cultural significance. In conclusion, while the idea of dumping trash in volcanoes might seem like an intriguing and radical solution to waste management, it is fraught with practical, environmental, and ethical challenges. The logistics of transporting waste to remote and dangerous locations, the unpredictable nature of volcanic activity, and the potential release of harmful pollutants all make this idea impractical and dangerous. Moreover, this approach does not address the root causes of waste production and reflects a short-sighted view of waste management that prioritizes convenience over sustainability. Instead of looking for ways to dispose of waste in extreme and risky ways, society should focus on reducing waste at the source, improving recycling and composting efforts, and developing more sustainable and responsible approaches to managing the materials we consume. By doing so, we can work towards a future where waste is not seen as a problem to be hidden or incinerated, but as a resource to be managed and reused in a way that benefits both people and the planet.